Hey guys, Tom itself here. I had been waiting for the Battlefield 3 patch to come out before I started playing again, but surprise, they finally released it for Xbox, so I'm back playing some Battlefield 3. I don't want to go over all of the patch changes, but there are two things in particular that really seem to have changed the way this game plays. And the first is the suppression mechanic has been significantly buffed. Now, for the Call of Duty players, the suppression mechanic in this game is akin to the flinch that you get when you're taking damage in Call of Duty games. Except in Battlefield, you don't have to take damage. Just shooting bullets by the guy's head will make the screen blur, and especially now after this update, really makes the players inaccurate. So what I found, well, and they also changed some recoil things, but I found myself really favoring the semi-auto mode on my rifles along with the heavy barrel. It seemed to make the spread due to the increased suppression effect less of an issue, and because if I got the first couple shots near my target, their accuracy would go down quite a bit. I didn't have to worry about just holding down the trigger and spraying as much ammo downrange as fast as possible. I could conserve my ammo just a little bit more and not have to worry about trying to kill the one guy in front of me as fast as possible. So now you can find yourself in situations where before, the best idea would have been just hold down the trigger, stand your ground, and keep shooting. Where now it's, you need to take some cover, try to recover from that suppression effect, because you'll have places where it's just holding down the trigger, just crosshairs right on the guy, and he doesn't die. Before it would have been, what on earth happened? But now that's the suppression effect. That is how powerful it is. The other thing that really seems to have changed is that vehicles are a little bit weaker and take a bit longer to repair, and the end result is that this is a less vehicle-dominated game. I think that's a serious step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, vehicles are still incredibly important and very powerful, but on the vehicle-heavy maps, it's no longer critical for everyone on your squad, if you're going to be infantry, to be running engineer. And if you have the explosives specialization, you don't even worry about having a support guy, because you're probably going to die before you can shoot all your rockets. That's how it used to be, at least. And now, if you have one or two engineers, you're probably going to be okay. You know, I say that, and I look at the screen, and there are 3 engineers on my squad right now. And I miss a couple shots with the small, but eventually I managed to take that tank out. I think he assumed I was on the second floor, and I wasn't, and that's the only reason that I managed to go ahead and take that tank out. I think basically solo. That was kind of a surprise there. Now, as far as lock-on launchers go, the range has been reduced considerably, but the lock-on time is faster. It makes them less effective against jets, so the pilot has to be clueless, because it's just flying around the map normally will put them out of range, and the flares will regenerate before you get a chance to get a second shot. So if you've got other people shooting, maybe it's worth trying to go after a jet, but otherwise, there's no point at all. Against helicopters, well, you see I disabled it, but I'm not going to get a kill from that, so I guess the helicopter was being repaired. But in the end, I spent so much time staring up in the air, spinning around like an idiot without any peripheral vision that it just make for an easy kill. I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not it's worth it, but I think 3 of us here finally locked onto this pesky helicopter, because as soon as we can all lock back on, you'll see 1, 2, and there might have been a third. It's hard to tell where the trails are, but it looks like there are 3 lock-on launcher trails going at that helicopter, and I didn't get any points for the kill there, so who knows. But that's what it takes to bring one down. I don't know, it's a whole commentary about game balance that I'm going to do later, but the current state, lock-on launchers are nearly useless against jets, and against helicopters, well, you're usually going to need more than one person using them in order to bring a helicopter down. One thing that I absolutely must point out that still hasn't been fixed, still hasn't been patched in this update, and it has been an issue since the beta we played. Actually, I remember very specifically commenting on it because it was the major issue we had with the beta, was that squads still don't stay together in matchmaking. You have to get in a game, and you have to check and see if everyone wound up on the same team. And then you have to go and get yourself in the same squad. And it slows things down. Why DICE still hasn't got this working, I cannot fathom, but it really, really annoys me, and it absolutely keeps me from recommending this game to anyone else. Now, they have done some things to speed up moving through squads. You don't have to leave your squad before you can join another one now. And they've also done a lot of fairly nice UI updates. One I really appreciate is it's no longer possible to get lost in a pile of ammo and first aid kits on the minimap, because those icons are significantly smaller now, and that needed to be done. It's nice to see. Due to the decreased effectiveness of the foregrip, I've been trying to use the bipod more, but I've not had any better luck with deploying it. I don't know if my left thumbstick is messed up or what, but I usually have to sit there and tap the left trigger quite a few times before it finally decides to deploy the bipod. It's kind of frustrating and really hard to make use of, even when I'm consciously trying to do so. I don't know, maybe there's some tips. I'll keep trying though. The big feature this update added was private servers for the Xbox. Now, you have to rent them. The price isn't crazy, but whoever paid for it gets to set the rules. And that's what you're seeing clips from. These are clips from private servers. Now, I had no connection with the person who paid for it, just because they can set it so that the private server is publicly joinable and just get random people to join in and play whatever game mode you have set up. Now, at least on the first day, the two servers that I happened to join in on were set up to be very high ticket count servers. The first one was something like a 1,500 ticket conquest on Op Metro, and because it's a private server and matchmaking doesn't seem to want to stick people into it, I think I joined in partway through, and when we got to the end, it said the game had been 65 minutes long. Kind of ridiculous. I'm not really keen on playing, especially if one team has a clear advantage by 200 or 300 points, but you're not getting have all the points, so you're not seeing the ridiculous ticket bleed in order to shorten the length of the game. It can just be kind of painful as the game drags out at the end. The other server I found myself in was a 500 ticket conquest server, and we played on Scene Crossing, and it was kind of fun. But there were only 5 or 6, maybe only 4 at some points, players on either team, and so the game dragged on for almost an hour. I don't know, not the kind of thing I would want to do all the time. Now, the issue we ran into was that the people I was in a squad with were getting kicked out occasionally due to connection problems, or in the case of the Out Metro one, friendly fire was on, and after 5 team kills you were kicked from the server, and playing for an hour without getting 5 team kills can be a bit of a challenge, especially if you're not used to dealing with friendly fire. If you were there at the beginning of the game when you only had 4 people, and I have to be surprised that it took that long to get 5 team kills, because I know I picked up 3 or 4 inside of 20 minutes. I guess I'm just not a team player, am I? But they said that they lost the experience points that they gained during the games due to being kicked. And that would be pretty rough, playing for an hour and then not getting any points for it. I wouldn't be too happy about that. So, what can I say? If you rent the server, you get to set the rules. You want to join in? You better check the rules before you start playing. Finally, the one advantage I can really see here is that if you want to rent your own server and set it up to practice flying, you finally can. Except there isn't a proper tutorial at any point, so my flying skills are still horrendous. In fact, I still have no clue really how to control the jets. There seems to be no responsiveness. I just ended up looking up in the sky and trying to do something for like 10 minutes. I have like 10 minutes of footage of me just trying to fly the plane, and then it finally ends up off the map and it destroys the jet because I'm out of the combat area. Yeah. No clue how to fly a jet. Very reminiscent of what I looked like when I was first trying to learn how to play an FPS, especially with a controller. Completely clueless, basically non-functional on the controls, but what can I say? There is no tutorial in this game for how to fly. They just expect you to know, expect you to figure it out, and they'll let you go with it. Now, the real downside here is that not only do I not know how to fly, but because I don't have the unlocks for the jets, I'm at a significant disadvantage to people who actually have experience flying and have all those unlocks already. So I guess it's just an area of the game that is going to remain unavailable to me, because I'm less effective in a jet, and I don't know how to use a jet, so why would I ever get in one? Rather disappointed that that whole section of the game seems rather inaccessible to me. But I think we'll wrap things up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.